Good morning, it's John Neal here. It's a beautiful crisp Friday, the 6th of December 2024, and I'm going to have a look at the Royal Observer Corps underground monitoring post at Stoke Golding, which sounds almost benign, doesn't it? Actually, a nuclear shelter. How crazy is that? And it's just along here. Let's go and have a look at it. I'm just thinking though, the population of Stoke Golding is 1,600 people therearound. Nuneaton's got 90,000 people. They're not going to fit all that lot in this little thing, I know. Come the great day. Crazy. Because it was built in 1960, I understand.
I can remember it.
Yeah?
I can remember it being built.
Yeah?
But not the tower.
Right.
Well, that's been rebuilt actually because
my brother knocked it down.
they didn't pay the rent for a period of time and it was disbanded. So the one just my hardcore and my brother knocked it down.
Well, there you go. Fair enough.
And,
As you do.
Yeah.
The underground bit, I can vaguely remember that being built. I can remember seeing a drag line up there.
Yeah. I mean, for being built in the 1960s, so it wasn't part of the Second World War.
It was, yeah.
Not the underground bit.
Right,
The tower
The
was.
lookout tower.
Okay.
Because Karen's granddad was one of the
Home Guards.
the home
Oh,
guards.
right,
He used to
okay.
have to be up there, yeah.
Yeah.
And I can remember when I was a kid, we had steel windows.
Yeah.
The crittle, I think they call them crittle or something.
Okay.
Obviously the glass had been smashed over a period of time, but there was vitreous enamel signs on the walls with German aircraft at different angles.
Oh, right.
So the observers could see what they
Compare
were looking at.
Yeah, sure.
That's it. The
Because-
Corps, that's what
So that was for the Second World War.
That was
Yes.
the Second World War.
Yeah.
Then after that, we got the Cold War, then they'd done that bunker.
Yeah.
And that was, well, it was left derelict for a while, and the druggies got in and cut the locks off, obviously, and got in, and they set fire, because the beds and that were still there,
Yeah, sure.
and that was set fire to, weren't it? And then
Yeah.
the land was sold to someone else, and they refurbished it
Yeah.
and bought other things to.
So you're asking me for old photos and that, so you could do it as
Yeah, there's a
close as you
website
could
for it, and there's got pictures in the inside.
Yeah.
Quite well, maintained
Yeah,
actually. So
yeah.
They have an open day every year.
yeah.
So he's died, bless him,
Yeah, he
a
died.
couple of years ago now.
Who's that?
The
chap
chap
who
who
owned
did
it.
it all.
Oh, okay.
But he's
What was his name then?
Terry Bottrell, Arthur Bottrell, wasn't it?
Oh.
Arthur Chamberlain.
He bottled anyway.
Yeah.
Because they used to have a factory up the village as well.
Yeah.
Used to make t-shirts and stuff.
All right. Yeah.
And so his wife's saying his children still do it, and the people who are in the thing with him, they're a club, because he used to show us all the bits where they've gone to other parts of the country, and somebody
Yeah.
said, "Oh, I've got two of these. You can have one of these for your one," and vice
Yeah.
versa, and that.
Yeah.
So it's quite nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Excellent. Lovely.
It is interesting.
It is. Yeah. The fact it's a nuclear shelter amuses
Yeah.
me. I mean, there's I've just looked it up. There's 1,600 people live in Stoke Golding apparently.
But we
You're
live
not all going to
closest.
get in there.
We live nearest.
You'll be in first.
We're only for a selective few.
Yeah, I think my point's going to be, what's the point?
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, when you get down there, it's very, very small. Would you want to be down there for how long?
Well, a big thank you to Mick and Karen, who live locally, for that fascinating conversation.
Yeah, seriously, I was senior observer. What was it? 55 post.
Really?
8 group.
The Royal Observer Corps?
Royal Observer Corps.
Yeah.
Although that's not it that you're looking at.
No, that's what is that brick building then?
Well, during the war,
Can you manage to get me by, mate?
a wooden observer post was built just a little bit further back.
Yeah.
When I joined, all that was a few bits of rotting wood in a bed of nettles. Okay, the real stuff, see to the right,
Yeah.
the green.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
little. That's the
Down.
top of the
Yeah,
underground.
the bunker. Yeah,
The bunker. Wow.
which is where it all went up.
Yeah.
That the guy who when the ROC was
Sorry.
was shut down, what, 90, I can't remember
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
A guy bought the site and he had that put up to represent the original wartime
Okay.
wooden one.
Okay.
Uh,
So that's not the original functioning building.
oh no,
No.
no! If you look at the brickwork on it, no, it was a wooden tower, very, very well sited.
Yeah. Sure.
Because you can see right over.
Okay. Yeah. Was that relative to the airfield that is now Myra, or was it just?
Well, it didn't have really anything to do with it because they built them in threes.
Okay.
When it became nuclear, built them in threes.
Yeah.
So that they could triangulate.
Okay. Yeah. Got you. Yeah. The position of whatever's
yeah.
coming in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it being built in 1960, then that was
I don't know when it was built.
the nuclear bit. There's a website on it. It says it was built in 1960.
Oh.
So that was after the Second World War.
Oh,
and,
long
in the
after.
thick of the
Yeah.
Cold War. So
Yeah.
I presume it was some function.
Well, it was to triangulate nuclear blasts and to help show which way the nuclear fallout cloud would be going.
Yeah.
I mean, it all sounds very, very
Sinister.
Well, it does.
Of course it does.
And I only joined, like everybody on the post. We were there because we were interested in aviation.
Yeah.
We couldn't give up, the nuclear aspect.
Yeah.
But we used to have these 24-hour exercises. When they used to have a big NATO exercise on the continent.
All right. Yeah.
They used to last from about 4 days to a week, which is when they assumed after that it would go nuclear.
Yeah.
And then we came in at the end of the exercise when they assumed that the radio masts at Rugby, which used to be, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They'd be a target. And we used to come in, we used to do these flipping 24-hour exercises. And there was a chief observer who fortunately knew what he was doing. I was senior observer, which is sort of second in command.
Yeah.
And I had a vague awareness of what I was doing.
Yeah.
And the rest knew bugger all.
So the location of it is mostly to do with the fact that it's in a high position.
That's
it's not
right.
necessarily.
When it was.
It's not that Stoke Golding's a hotbed of intelligence or anything.
Oh, I don't know. If I told you that, I'd have to shoot you. It was built originally, of course, for aircraft spotting.
Yeah.
So it's a good site.
Yeah.
So when it went nuclear, they just changed its use.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, one of our sister posts was at Fleckney, and I can't remember where the other one was.
I know where that is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Well, a big thank you to Dave as well, because here's a chap who actually worked inside this bomb shelter. Fascinating. I struck lucky today. Well, it is December and this path is a little bit muddy, but the old electric bike from the Starley manages no problem at all. A nuclear bunker. Well, that's what the local newspaper calls it, but Royal Observation Post. And yeah, well, I just had a wonderful chat with three people, some folk down the road there who owned this land, or did, and this gentleman, David, who actually was one of the observers who worked in it. And yeah, this is his account. Brilliant. Well, let's just have a close look what we got here. These green and well painted features on the top here are the entrance to the shelter. I'm not going to go in. There's some serious barbed wire here. Look at this. CCTV in operation. And here's the brick built original bunker, but it isn't the original one. As David was saying, the original one was made of wood, and this has been built since. Why, I'm not sure. It's also got a flagpole here which is of interest, and a sort of a beacon flare here, but it's a high point of ground here. You can see a long way around, so I think this is the reason that the fire point will be here. And then over there some bird feeders next to it. So yeah, and it looks like it's been well tended. It's a curious sort of spot, really, and it's got a sort of telegraph pole here with no wires going to and from it. But how interesting. What a fascinating piece of local history as much as anything else. But I'll say, with the current conflicts in the world, Ukraine and Russia, Middle East, Yemen, Iran, and the uncertainty about what's going on, and yeah, the mention, I won't say the threat, the mention of using nuclear weapons, it's just insane. MAD, mad, mutually assured destruction. It's crazy. I mean, and nuclear shelters, what's the point? Even if you'd managed to get him to one, I know these are observation posts, these aren't for shelters for lots of people to go into, I know that, but even if you did get into one and survived for 2 or 3 weeks while nuclear bombs were going off, what's the point? You come out and the place would be just devastated. You wouldn't survive afterwards anyway. The nuclear fallout would just destroy all life. I mean, some people would eventually emerge unscathed. I mean, there are people, I know Hiroshima and Nagasaki were not the biggest nuclear weapons used there, and some of those people have survived and the towns have been rebuilt. But if there was the sort of conflagration that we would get with an international nuclear war, it would just be Armageddon, really, wouldn't it? Absolutely terrible. And I don't think anybody would be so stupid as to let that happen, because if one country were to launch such missiles at another, they know they would get them straight back again. So, well, anyway, so rather than going one of these, if it came to it, we had the I don't know, what do they call it, 10-minute warning or whatever, there's a nuclear attack going to happen, I wouldn't go in one of these. I'd stand on the top of a biggest hill nearby, hold my arms up and say, sorry, I didn't do more to stop this happening in the first place, and now there's no point. Absolutely fascinating, crazy, worrying, and still it's a nice day though. Is that very English? I think it is. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you for those folk for their contributions and let me put it onto this little video. And yeah, you will see me next time. Okay, bye bye.